Welcome to episode 3 in this 8-part series on employment law for managers. This series is designed primarily for managers and supervisors and focuses on real-world situation managers face every day: hiring, pay decisions, performance issues, and more, and where those moments can turn into legal risk if not handled properly. HR professionals already live in this space. Managers don't, and they shouldn't have to. But managers do need to understand and recognize when an issue is bigger than a routine management decision, and when it's time to involve HR or legal support. If you're a manager, this is about helping you lead with confidence, not fear, and giving you the tools to manage people effectively without accidentally creating legal problems for you or the company. Imagine the following scenario. 2 employees are sitting together at lunch. They work in the same department and have the same job. One of them casually mentions their pay, thinking the other person earns the same as them. Then there's a sudden lull in the conversation, a look between them that says 1,000 words. Their pay isn't even similar. In that moment, a pay inequality situation is revealed. Within days, HR gets an email because one of the employees believes the company is unfair. That's how pay issues surface. And once they do, they don't quietly go away. Pay isn't just about compensation, it's also about fairness, recognition, and validation. People don't just ask, "Am I paid enough?" They ask, "Am I valued the same as everyone else?" That's why pay decisions create more resentment, more complaints, and more lawsuits than almost anything else a manager touches. And it's why equal pay laws exist in the first place. The Equal Pay Act is a federal law that has been around since 1963, and its core rule is refreshingly blunt. Men and women must receive equal pay for equal work, and the jobs just don't need to be identical, just substantially equal in duties. That means jobs that require similar effort, skills, responsibility, and under similar working conditions. And here's the part managers often miss. Job titles don't matter. Job content does. You can call one role senior coordinator and another lead specialist. If the work is the same, the pay needs to be equal. Let's look at an example. A company hires 2 production supervisors. One negotiates aggressively and comes in at a higher salary. The other accepts the first offer. Same role, same metrics, same expectations. A few years later, the gap still exists. What's the justification? The manager says, well, that's what they were making when they were hired. Legally, that's a weak defense. And in many states, it's no defense at all. 42 states and the District of Columbia have enacted some form of pay equity or equal pay laws that go above and beyond federal protections. Past salary history is increasingly viewed as a mechanism that perpetuates inequality. Once a pay gap exists, the burden shifts to the employer to justify it. So when are pay differences allowed? The law recognizes legitimate factors such as seniority systems, merit systems, quantity and quality of production, and other bona fide factors unrelated to gender. But here's the catch. You don't get credit for having a reason. You need proof. If it's merit-based, where's the performance documentation? If it's experience-based, where's the comparison data? If it's production-based, where are the metrics? Managers get into trouble when the reasoning for pay differences lives in someone's head and cannot be legally justified. Now let's talk about something that's rapidly changing the landscape: pay transparency. More states and cities now require pay ranges in job postings, disclosure of pay upon request, and prohibit salary history questions altogether. Add to that Glassdoor, LinkedIn, internal Slack channels, and group chats, and pay secrecy is no longer realistic. Employees are comparing notes, and in most cases, legally they have the right to do so. Here's a sentence that gets managers into serious trouble. Don't talk about pay. Under the Fair Labor Standards Act, employees generally have the right to disclose wages and other working conditions. This is called protected concerted activity. Trying to shut down conversations among employees about pay doesn't prevent problems, it creates them. A better approach is to make sure your pay decisions are defensible and can survive the light of day. Secrecy isn't protection, consistency is. Another trap managers fall into is thinking equal pay is just about salary. It's not. The law looks at total compensation, including bonuses, overtime, stock options, benefits, vacations, and perks. The reality is that you can accidentally create inequality without touching base pay at all, which is why managers should never make side deals or off-book arrangements without HR's involvement. Managers don't often control pay structures, but they do influence them. You recommend raises, justify bonuses, and evaluate performance. And every one of those inputs leaves a record. Fair pay doesn't require perfection, but it does require thoughtful decisions, consistent criteria, and documentation that explains the why. So here's the core lesson of this episode. Pay decisions don't disappear, and the longer they sit unexplained, the more dangerous they become. If you can't clearly explain why two people are paid differently for similar work, you have a liability. In the next episode, we'll talk about one of the most uncomfortable topics managers face: disability and accommodation. Because when an employee says, "I need help," what you do next matters a lot more than you realize.
John Paul here. If you like this video, check out the HR Insight YouTube channel where we have more videos just like this. Make sure to click subscribe so you get notifications.